I sit here wondering, have you ever wondered why our grandparents, despite their vast experiences and wisdom, they often misjudge the future? It's a question that's been lingering in my mind, and are we doing the same thing? Forecasting the future is definitely a challenging task. Even with the most astute minds among us, the world is changing at a dizzying pace, and each passing year, with it brings a swath of unexpected changes. We have the technological advancements, for instance, which have a knack for outpacing even the most ambitious predictions. Remember when self-driving cars seemed like a distant pipe dream? Then there were smartphones at one time were just a twinkle in the eye of some Silicon Valley innovator. And our grandparents lived in a world where the rotary phone was the height of technology, and man had not yet set foot on the moon. In just a few short decades, we have seen the birth of the internet, the rise of artificial intelligence, and the dawn of space tourism. It's no wonder that the older generations, rooted in the realities of their own youth, struggled to envision the shape of things to come. Moreover, societal changes add another layer of unpredictability. The shifts in social norms, cultural values, political landscapes, they radically alter the trajectory of any future. Our grandparents might have never envisioned a world where gender equality is championed, where mental health is openly discussed, and where sustainable living is not just a concept, but it's now a necessity. This rapid pace of change can lead to a disconnect between the generations. The world that older generations prepared for is often starkly different from the one that actually unfolds, and this can result in unresolved problems being passed down to younger generations. But we can't forget, this isn't about laying blame. It's about understanding the complexities of predicting the future and the inherent challenges that come with it. It's about recognizing the world is in a constant state of flux, and that each generation must navigate its own unique set of obstacles. The future is a moving target that's often elusive to even the wisest among us. So I want the younger generations to take a step back and imagine yourselves in the shoes of us, a Generation X, okay? We're the generation, we inherited a world that was as complex and chaotic as a jigsaw puzzle with missing pieces. We had to consider that there was the fallout from the Cold War, a geopolitical chess game that lasted nearly 50 years, the aftermath which was a world divided and suspicious of its international neighbors, an international relations landscape that was a minefield. We had to navigate these treacherous waters and build bridges where walls had once stood. A tidal wave of technology that swept across the globe. This was a game changer, a paradigm shift that previous generations could hardly have anticipated. And yet we found ourselves in the forefront of this brave new world, tasked with integrating the tsunami of technology into everyday life. And let's not forget the economic crisis of the late 20th century and the boom and bust cycles, the recessions, the financial meltdowns. They all cast long shadows over the economic prospects of our generation. Inherited wealth was replaced with inherited debt, and the dream of a secure and prosperous future seemed more like a mirage. Each of these challenges was a torch passed down to us, illuminating the path ahead. But this was no ordinary torch. It was heavy with the weight of unresolved issues, the lingering echoes of decisions made in the past. So we found ourselves in the inevitable position of having to solve the puzzles of the past while simultaneously charting a course for the future, where the bridge between the old world and the new, the fulcrum on which the balance of history teetered. But despite these challenges, we also inherited a spirit of resilience and innovation. We took that torch and we ran with it, lighting the way for those who would follow. The torch was passed, but it came with a heavy weight. During our time, the world changed rapidly and dramatically from the end of the Cold War to the dawn of the digital age. In this generation, we found ourselves in the midst of a world in flux. However, we did not just weather the storm, we became the architects of a new world order. For instance, we were the first to grow up with computers in our homes. We were the pioneers who navigated the uncharted waters of the digital landscape, seeing the potential of this new technology and driving the initial wave of digital innovation. Notably, Elon Musk, Larry Page, Sergey Brin, all members of Gen X are now synonymous with this digital revolution. So apart from technological innovation, we also had to contend with the economic challenges that we inherited. I mean, the 80s and 90s were characterized by the recession, stock market crashes, mounting national debts. I mean, despite this, we found ways to adapt. And by becoming more entrepreneurial, we created startups, new entire business models. We championed flexible work arrangements and remote work, things that are even more relevant today. Moreover, we demonstrated the remarkable ability to adapt to environmental changes. I mean, we were the first generation to grow up with the widespread understanding of environmental issues. We championed sustainability and driven significant advancements in renewable energy and clean technology, another thing that is even more important today. Now, in the face of adversity, we did more than just survive, we thrived. We seized these opportunities presented by the unexpected, and we used them to shape the world around us. We were not defined by the problems we inherited, but the solutions we created. We did not just inherit a world, we reshaped it. Our resilience, our adaptability, and our innovation has left an indelible mark on the world today. But as we prepare to pass the baton, what legacy are we leaving for the next generations? Us Xers are often dubbed the middle child of generations, and we stand at a crucial juncture. I mean, we're in the unique position of inheriting and passing on a slew of challenges, each way more complex than the last. The legacy that they leave behind is a mixed bag, a cocktail of unresolved issues and new developments. I mean, firstly, let's talk about the elephant in the room, climate change. It's a crisis that's been brewing for decades, passed down from previous generations, and now it's reached its boiling point. Now, despite efforts to mitigate the damage, the issues remain largely unresolved, and it's the younger generations who are going to bear the brunt of its effects. And then we got the rise of artificial intelligence. This is a rather new development, a challenge born in the era of Gen X, but with the rapid advancement in technology, has brought about unprecedented change in the way we live and work. But with these advancements, it comes some ethical dilemmas and questions about job displacement, privacy, security, the Pandora's box that we have opened, leaving future generations to grapple with the consequence of. And then lastly, we come to social inequality. While this issue is as old as time itself, it has taken on new dimensions in the era of Generation X. The wealth gap widened, social mobility became more difficult. We've seen the rise of the gig economy, the erosion of labor rights, and the challenge of the globalized world. These are problems that we've inherited, exacerbated, and now we are sadly passing on to the next generation. Inheriting problems and passing them on. It seems to be the cyclical nature of generational challenges, but let's not forget that each generation also inherits the tools and knowledge to face these challenges head on, as the cycle continues with new challenges for new generations to face. Now, this conversation today has revolved around the question of whether we are doomed to always misjudge the future and whether we'll leave behind unresolved problems for future generations to solve. Now, however, we shouldn't give up hope just yet. I mean, history has been a great teacher, showing us where we've succeeded, failed, and missed potential challenges. We can't change the past, but we can learn from it. I mean, the resilience and adaptability of Generation X has proved that. Looking forward, we need to have more intergenerational dialogue and pass on our experiences, challenges, solutions, and failures. This sharing of knowledge, it's essential to help future generations avoid our mistakes and build on our successes. Today's youth are socially conscious and connected, and they're growing up in a world where past problems are out in the open. They're actively seeking solutions and have the potential to predict and address their own challenges. I mean, the future is definitely uncertain, but we can leave a better world for future generations if we foster a culture of learning and dialogue, not fear. We have our opportunity to shape a better world. Let's not waste it.